Hey everyone, this is Mike from Sprintboards. Today I'm going to teach you how to create your first Sprintboard. So the first thing we need to do is sign in through Asana Connect. This is going to bring us to our portfolio page where eventually this is going to show us a list of all the projects that we've connected to Sprintboards. But for now, let's deal with our first one by clicking the Add New Sprintboard button. So the first thing we need to do is select an Asana project that we want to link to Sprintboards. Okay, great. So let's start to walk through these fields. Okay, let's start with the project overview field. So the text that you see in this field is actually pulled from Asana. It's pulled from the description of the project that we've connected to Sprintboards. So we see this as what the project is, why you're doing it, how it's going to help the business, and this is usually set at the beginning of the project with project stakeholders. We think it's really important to have the project overview on any project status report that you send to your clients. Okay, next is the status update field. This is where you provide your clients an update of what's been accomplished since the last time that you met. You may also want to review what should be expected for the next time that you do meet. The content you enter here is also added to the project description field in Asana. So it will enter in here, and I'll show you what that looks like after we create the Sprintboard. Okay, so the next field is the overall status field. And here you can select if the project is on track, if things are going great, if there's a warning, meaning there's some cause for concern, or if things are off track, meaning the project is way off track and the overall project is at risk. You can see as I change this selection here, the icon also changes. Okay, now it's time to set up our milestones. So the first thing you need to decide is what you'd like to call this milestone area. So you can leave it as milestones, or if you'd like, you can change it to whatever you want. And this updates the header at the top here. Now it's time to decide how do you actually want to add milestones to your Sprintboard. Well, you can do it manually, or you can do it by selecting a task from Asana that already has an existing tag associated with it. So let's walk through each one. Let's start with adding milestones individually. So there's 3 fields that can be entered when you're entering in a manual milestone. They're name, description, and due date. You can add as many rows as you'd like, and each one of these rows represents a new task that will be added to Asana when you create the Sprintboard. And each one of these tasks will also be given a tag, and in this example, the tag will be called Design Milestones. So when we eventually present the Sprintboard to you, all of these tasks will be in the same milestone section, and that's determined based on the tag that's been selected here. You may also select milestones to show based on an existing tag and existing tasks that are in Asana. So let's go to Asana now. Here I've just added the tag milestones to all of these tasks. If I select this option here, and then I go ahead and select the milestones tag, what you'll see is it pulls in all of the tasks from Asana that have already been tagged with the tag milestones. Okay, so let's move down to the discussion items area. Just know that you can actually add as many milestone sections or areas as you'd like simply by clicking this button. Just follow the same process that we just went over, and you'll be able to have multiple blocks of milestones. Moving on to the discussion items. Just as a reminder, we see a discussion item as anything that needs to be highlighted on a call or during a meeting. For example, wins, issues, risks, change requests, deployment steps, next steps, etc. So we like to bundle everything into one category because at the end of the day, they're all items that need to be discussed and highlighted and talked about with the team. So just like with milestones, you can choose to add discussion items to your Sprintboards manually or by selecting a task that has an existing tag in Asana. You also have the option of not displaying discussion items on the Sprintboard at all. So let's just stick with the manual entry. And we want to talk about network access, and the due date is next week. Okay, so let's click Create My Sprintboard, and then we'll take a look in Asana to see what's happened. Okay, so we created our first Sprintboard. All of the data that we put into the overview field, the update field, the selection for the overall status, the milestone tasks, and the manual discussion item that we created, it all lives in Asana. So let's go take a look at this demo project in Asana. Okay, so let's take a look at where this data is stored and how we edit it. So in the project description field, this is where the 3 fields from Sprintboards are stored. This is the project overview, and if we go back to the Sprintboard, here's the project overview. All the content underneath the word update, this is your status update field. Here's your status update. And then finally, the overall status icon, it lives here. So we can update this at any point in time. So we can change this to a lid value. We can change status to warning. It can also be off track. We can at any point add some due dates. If we'd like to add a new milestone, we can do this here. We can also then obviously have to tag this milestone with the tag milestone. And let's go to Sprintboards and refresh. Here's the status update values. You can see edited value. I changed this to warning from on track. I added a due date. I also added a new milestone. So all of your edits take place within Asana, and then they're updated on the Sprintboard. So I hope that helped. If you have any other questions, you can feel free to click on the help file here, and there's a lot of good information here. You can always reach out to us through our chat window, or you can reach out to me personally at mike@sprintboards.com. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.